Hello, everybody. George here with Threefold. I want to use this opportunity to connect with those of you who are following um, my posts, the content that I'm putting out, and to invite you to connect. And the reason for this post is the untimely and tragic death of Charlie Kirk, a well known American conservative influencer and activist. I just found out about the assassination of this amazing 31, only 31 years old. Charlie Kirk was only 31 years old. Let that sink in. And here are some of the thoughts that I'd like to share with you in light of the news like that. This is terrible news for Charlie Kirk's family, first and foremost. It's terrible news also for those of us who love America, who cherish liberty. Those of us who who are traditional people, people with traditional values. Those of us who love and cherish traditional America. Traditional America is an America that honors God, respects our fellow human beings, stands for freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and all the wonderful, amazing things that God has blessed America with and America has blessed the world with. I understand fully well that America is not perfect and America has its own issues, shall we call them, right? But we have come to a place in history where it's no longer how imperfect we traditional people are. It's about how terroristic the terrorist left is. The assassination of Charlie Kirk could have been the assassination of Donald Trump. Today it was Charlie Kirk. Tomorrow it could be the president, could be the vice president, it could be any other conservative influencer, big or small. Charlie had a huge platform. He not only held town hall meetings at universities, he actually actively converted people from being leftist to, if they were, I guess, middle of the road, he converted people from the lunacy and the insanity of the terrorist left to common sense, traditional values and positions. And Charlie Kirk did very well, and he was very successful in what he did with Turning Point USA. He was not perfect. I differed with him on several of his positions through history. Many of us did, actually. It's normal for us to be critical of each other. We accept self criticism and criticism of what we do as part of a normal growth, right? So I didn't always agree with how Charlie Kirk handled Turning Point USA, like many other didn't. However, his work was instrumental, and everybody knows this. His work with Turning Point USA was instrumental in the last election. It has been instrumental in mobilizing many, many young people across the United States and other countries as well. So our loss is great. We lost a great free speech warrior, a great American. We lost someone who should be deeply respected and emulated by young Americans who stand on these same principles and stand for these same principles. Now, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as much as it is a tragedy for his own family, it is a great tragedy for America. And it also comes as a reminder of the almost daily threats that people like Charlie Kirk face. Why? Because we are up against the terrorist left. There's hardly any moderate left. I think I'm not sure that I have heard or seen any moderate leftist in many, many years. It used to be a Democrat or a left-leaning Democrat in the United States, was like, for example, it had to do with maybe your understanding of fiscal policy, right? Fiscal policy, or it was various positions and issues that had to do with the way conservatives or Republicans and Democrats would handle, but we all agreed on being civil. We all agreed to disagree. It was all about the best, let the best argument win. It was many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, we still had a civil discourse, right? That was gone. The day Obama became a president, he weaponized the presidency. He actively, throughout the 8 years of his presidency, began to use the presidency as a tool of the terrorist left, the most radical fringes of the left. And really, if you want to understand how we got where we are at today in the United States, it began with Obama. Of course, that was preceded by many, many years of slow, gradual university college indoctrination, radical leftists who rolled out a long term plan to radicalize the youth, complacent Christians, complacent conservative legislators. So there's a lot of elements to what brought us to where we are at today. But during the 8 years of Obama's presidency, this path to terrorism was rolled out, and the left became more and more terrorist, more and more extremist, subscribing to the views that became known as Antifa and Black Lives Matter. These are all the anti fascist, Black Lives Matter, racial issues. All of these are basically weaponized vocabulary, weaponized language to force and ram down our throats their agenda, their communist utopia. And their utopia means we, traditional people, are either silenced, imprisoned, destroyed, or killed. They don't see us as part of a normal society where they have opponents. They can't tolerate opposition. And the murder of Charlie Kirk is another piece of evidence that they do not know how to handle opposition. They can't win with the power of argument. Therefore, they're using the argument of power. And I've now, as an American citizen who has embraced his new country and the principles it stands on, who has sworn an oath of allegiance to the Constitution of the United States, and I take this very seriously, I stand firmly against the terrorist left and anyone who supports actively or passively the effort of the terrorist left to destroy America as we know her, to destroy the Constitution and the liberties that the Constitution grants us. And that's what we have today. We have the terrorist wing of the Democrat Party through their numerous branches in the media, in various levels in government. These people are bent on destroying America, like Obama said, to fundamentally transform. What does that mean, to fundamentally transform? He wants to replace traditional America with the communist, socialist, Islamist, transgender America. That's their utopia. That's their dream. And they are willing to kill anyone who dares to stand in their way and to hinder that agenda. That's what communism has been about for the last 100 years. That's the very inception of communism with Karl Marx. The idea of communism is we're going to force our utopia on you, and if you stand in our way, we will kill you. That's communism. That's leftism. And so in America, we've had civil discourse for many years, between leftists, soft lefties, right, and the rest of society. But now those people are gone. The Democrat Party has become a hardcore terrorist leftist organization, basically. The Democrat Party is the front, the political front of a terrorist movement. And no longer can you call yourself a Democrat in my book. No longer can you call yourself a Democrat and to claim to be a believer in Jesus Christ, to be a Christian, or to be a Jew who subscribes to the observance of Torah or anything like that. So it's basically traditional, normal people who subscribe to the Constitution and what it stands for, and mob terrorist fractions who are bent on destroying everything we stand for and love and cherish, our normal way of life. So this is war. Make no mistake. This is war. And what I'm saying right now, it could be said in many different ways by many different people who have much greater platforms. It's okay. I don't care. I don't have a big platform. You don't have a big platform. So what I'm saying to you is use the platform that you have. If you know 10 people and you can amplify this truth to 10 people that you know, do it. You can no longer remain silent. To the few thousand people that I know, I'm doing it all the time through emails, through communication, through social media, through websites. All the time, I'm carving out part of my time and investing part of my life into educating and waking up people to these vital truths, right? It's not an easy process. That's the reason I have this space. The reason I have this portal and the reason I have this, because a lot of the things that I'm saying, if I put it on YouTube, it will be shut down. YouTube is hostile to the kind of truths that I'm telling you. We have to hide. We have to, blank out our words. We have to modify our content because we can't even speak freely because we will be blacklisted and will be shut down. So we can't really reach the masses if we speak truth and if we speak straightforwardly. That's why we need to develop private platforms like this. And that's why I'm calling on you to get serious. This is a line being drawn. There's a line being drawn right now in the sand, and you can no longer be indifferent. You can no longer say, I'm just going to do nothing. It doesn't work. Get involved, get organized. We do have projects and we do have plans for projects going forward in the future to where every country and every place where we're involved and we have allies, we will encourage each other. We will equip each other on how to do it better, how to expose, and oppose the terrorist left. And in the United States, we have people that are connected to conservative causes, similar to Turning Point USA. We will do this more and more and more, not less and less. We will stick to those three pillars, three mandates that make us who we are: the proclamation of the faith, the defense of liberty, and the charitable extension we are to people in need. So, liberty, faith, liberty, and charity, those three taken together, they represent the kingdom of God on the earth. They represent the kind of life that all of us should strive to live, proclaim the faith, defend liberty, and help through charitable deeds. Those are not too complicated to grasp, right? If this resonates with you, please drop me a line. I want to know you want to be involved, you want to be engaged. Drop me a line. Let's connect. Sign up for our portal. Just we will have more and more going on. We do have members of our board who are currently involved in conservative causes in the United States. We'll have those in other countries as well. But if this is something that's resonating with you, let's not be silent no more. And let's do what Charlie Kirk did, is to mobilize, to expose the left, to mobilize people, organize people, and get things done. And yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for your time. God bless. I'll continue to message and to connect with those of you who have it in their heart to do something and defend liberty going forward. Thank you.